Good evening to everyone. Today we are going to see about the industry case studies about Intel, how the Intel turned failure into success, what is the reason behind its failure, and how it overcome by the Intel. The reason for the Intel failure is the Timna. Intel Timna. So the Intel Timna was the code name of a proposed central processing unit CPU family by Intel. The project was announced in 2000 and designed in Haifa, Israel. Timna is also the name of a valley in Israel. The chip was supposed to be the first CPU with an integrated graphics processing unit GPU and a random access memory, that is a RAM controller, which was designed to work with the RD-RAM type of RAM. So the price of RDRAM did not drop as expected by the Intel. So it was decided to use a memory hub translator that is also used by the Intel i20 chipset to link Timna with the SDRAM type of RAM. The processor was expected to be clocked from 600 MHz to 700 MHz and use a 133 MHz front side bus, that is FSB, and a level 2 cache of memory 128 KB, and was to be manufactured at a 180 nanometer process. So before that we should know what are the main components of a motherboard. So the motherboard consists of a processor and memory. We have two types of memory, RAM and ROM. So in RAM there are two types of RAM, dynamic RAM and static RAM. So the static RAM is otherwise called as a cache memory. As I already mentioned, L2 cache memory. The speed of cache memory and processor is almost same. The dynamic RAM is used as the main memory, and cache memory is used as additionally because of its cost. So and the next one is ROM. So there are four types of ROM. There are four types of ROM. PROM, that is programmable read-only memory. So the ROM is read-only memory. The next design was programmable read-only memory, and after that they designed EPROM, that is erasable programmable read-only memory. In that EPROM technology, we can erase the program and we can erase the program using ultraviolet rays, and we can reprogram. And the next one is EEPROM, that is a flash ROM. So these are the main components of motherboard, and additionally it has a serial port controller, parallel port controller, display controller, graphics controller. All other chips are connected in the motherboard. So next we will see what is a system on chip. As I already said, the Timna is the first processor designed with SoC technology. A system on a chip is that is SoC is an integrated circuit that integrates all or most components of a computer or other electronic system. These components almost always include a central processing unit, that is CPU, and memory. So memory means RAM, ROM, and cache memory, and input output ports. So the ports where we can connect the external devices. So there are two types of ports, input port and output ports. In input port we can connect input devices, and output ports we can connect output devices. And the secondary storage. Before that, what is primary memory, and I should explain what is primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is your RAM, ROM, and the secondary memory is your external, that is hard disk, floppy drive, CD-ROM, or the secondary storage. So these all are connected in a single substrate or a microchip. The size of this is like a coin. It must contain digital analog mixed signal and often radio frequency signal processing functions. Otherwise, it will be considered as an application processor. So this is the design of SOC. This is the concept of SOC. So the after that we should ask what is the difference between conventional motherboard and SOC. So the SOC are in contrast to the common traditional motherboard based PC architecture, which separates components based on function and connects them through a central interfacing circuit board, whereas a motherboard houses and connects detachable or replaceable components. So the SOC integrate all of these components into a single integrated circuit, as if all these functions were built into a motherboard. Next, we will see about the RDRAM, because the Timno processor is the because why we are especially study about RDRAM is the this is the main reason for the failure of Timno processor RDRAM. That is RDRAM, that is RAM bus dynamic RAM, is a type of computer memory developed and licensed by Rambus Incorporate. The RDRAM consists of random access memory, a RAM controller, and a bus or a path connecting RAM to the microprocessor and other devices in the computer that is used it. So so there are mainly four reasons for the failure of Timna. The first one is flaw in memory, and the next one is memory fixing problem, cost saving, and the design as the is are the or the reasons for the failure of Timna. So we will see in detail. So SOC in itself is no bad thing, and the key integrated component of Timna, a memory controller, is a very good thing to include on the same silicon as the processor itself. However, a processor uses memory is absolutely key to its performance. That is, AMD has made a lot of hay by putting its hyper transport memory circuitry on the chip. There are a lot of performance benefits if that the integration is done right. It is also cheaper to make single chips and cheaper to design them into computers. But all this included in Timna, but there were three major flaws with the design. The two are conceptual and one is the practical. The biggest one was the gamble that went wrong. Intel predicted that a new high performance memory technology, that is RDRAM, would become popular and therefore cheap. But it has plenty of technical error. By the time Timna was coming to the fruition, it was becoming clear that RDRAM was not going to be anything like competitive enough for the low cost sector. Then that was a Timnos positioning, that is the design or memory fixing problem. The Timno was intended to strengthen Intel's hand in the low end PC market, where it would compete mostly with the Intel itself. That is a decision which is very hard to make and just as hard to stick to. In general, it takes an outside force to make such moves happen, even in a company such as Intel that has some history of making market changing moves on its own initiative. If RTRAM had proved to be potent cheap technology and Timna had given Intel a unique foothold in a cheap, high performing PCs, then the decision would have seen as a bold move to forestall the external competition. Without these results, it became an exercise in killing the company's own margin, which brings us to the third error of Timna. It did not work properly. The memory control was repeatedly flawed and flawed in a way that could not easily be fixed. So the next problem is memory fixing problem. The system worked after a fashion. By the time Timna scanned in October 2000, there were already motherboards being shown up, and preparations for launch were well underway. So the Intel has never talked about what happened. The most persuasive rumor is that with RD RAM failing its takeoff, the system had to work well with more standard codes, and the part of the design just was not cutting the mustard. It was designed to be high performance and thus took a lot of power, but it did not deliver. Instead, the company looks at the market, looked at the chip, and decided enough was enough. The main problem in the DRAM, as I already said, flaw in memory, memory fixing problem, cost saving, design. Cost saving means Intel of high licensing fee, and being a proprietary standard, and low performance advantages for the increased cost. So these are the main reasons for the failure. After 2 years, they delivered Banyos, the first proper notebook processor and the building block of successful Santino platform. It was also the start of Intel's strategic move from speed demand to a company with appreciation of efficiency. So this move had long been mooted, but was harder to act on the accept. So these are the reasons. These are the reasons why the Timna is a failure, and how the Intel recover from the failure. So thank you.